Daryl in Dayton, Ohio. Welcome. Boy, let me tell you, booking travel. I was doing that last night myself. What's going on?
Hi, Kim. Thanks so much for taking my call. We have the vacation bug. Oh, and before I forget, I wanted to mention that I've been a fan since your first station at Naples, so really appreciate it.
Oh.
We have the vacation bug, and we go everywhere. We travel probably more often than most families do in a year. We do in 3 months. We do a trip every month, mostly domestic. So we go to Florida, New York, Texas on a regular basis. We're going to the Grand Canyon this weekend. We also do driving trips from Dayton to Chicago or Cleveland. And we're constantly looking for the best value on travel. That'd be travel for not only airfares, but rental cars and hotels. And what we find is that when we check the fare today, we can go, yes, we want to buy that airfare. We go back, and it has changed. Very rarely down.
It's funny how that works.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, right? Rental cars, we don't understand why every website we use will quote us the same exact price. And then the hotels are really all over the map. One day they're $100, the next day they're $150. The day after that, they could be $110.
Yeah.
So looking for advice, and maybe I'm doing something I shouldn't be, and anything you can do to save me, $10, because we travel with a lot of people, I would appreciate it.
Booking travel is a nightmare. It is. You can. Let me tell you how I do it. I use Google Flights, and that's when I'll figure out the duration. And see, for me, duration is paramount. Like, for example, I'm booking a trip to go to Maui, and as I looked at Google Flights, now this is just to put this in perspective, from Phoenix to Honolulu to Maui, wherever, it's probably a 6-hour flight. So if it says 11 hours, then I'm like, That's just not happening.
You don't want to stop in Oakland for 3 hours, Kim?
Well, on the way back, last night when I was searching, keep in mind, it's a 6-hour flight. I think it was American Airlines or maybe it was United or Delta. I'm not really sure. But you were leaving Kahului, Maui, and then going to Portland, and then going to Las Vegas, and then coming to Phoenix. It was a 25-hour, 15-minute flight. I'm like, it took me 13 hours to get to Tokyo, okay? I mean, what's going on here?
Well, now, was that flight extremely cheap?
You know what? It wasn't.
Well, that's the worst of both worlds.
It wasn't that cheap. So Google Flights, Hopper, you want to book flights on a Sunday. If you can travel on a Wednesday, that's always it. Hotels are something else. I don't know if you've ever tried this, Daryl, is that you get the lowest price that you can find online. Then you call and you speak to the reservation desk or whatever the hotel is, front office. And
I have not tried that.
And you want to talk to that hotel, not the 800 number. You have to get the local number, okay? And then you talk to the reservation person. And what I always ask is, hi, how are you? Gosh, you know what? Yeah. And here's a line that you can use. How many times a day do you say that? And they'll laugh each and every time because they have to answer the phone. Thank you for calling Hilton. My name is this, and what's your name, and how can I help you today? And they'll laugh, and then all of a sudden you got an instant buddy. And then I tell them, I got this price on the internet. It's $150. And are you guys running any type of special? How can I, is there any kind of discounts available? And then you automatically now have a friend. And then I always ask the next question, is there a room in your hotel that people ask for time and time again? Okay. Because that tells you that that's a room with a view. It's not near the elevator, whatever it may be.
Right.
And then if you have an American Express card, because you didn't go through American Express, then that person will say to you, I'm sorry, I can't give you the American Express benefits, meaning you have a late checkout, instant upgrade, free breakfast, whatever it may be. But if you say to that person, you know what, gosh, could you do me a huge favor and just take over the reservation? And she'll say, you know what, I can't. But you can call American Express and ask them to take over the reservation, so then you get all the perks.
Okay, I didn't understand what takeover meant.
Takeover means that instead of the reservation being through the hotel, it would be as if you called American Express, Capital One, or whoever.
Oh, I see. Yeah. No. Get it. That's a great suggestion.
Yeah.
Also.
So then you get all the perks. Now, as far as rental cars, Andrew, you've used Turo, right?
I love Turo.
Okay, talk about Turo.
Especially in a pinch if you need a rental car. But Turo is basically getting a rental car not from one of the big companies, not from, all those kiosks that you see at the airport. You're renting a car from people, normal people. If I had a car and I wanted to list it on Turo, I could, and people could rent it and go around town. I think it's first of all, it's impersonal. You don't have to talk to anybody. Every single Turo car I've ever picked up, the keys are in a little lockbox on the window. You go there, there's no human contact. You can get your car at any time of the day. And what I have found is it's always cheaper.
It is. It's always cheaper. I rented it. I used Turo last time I went to Miami, and I saved, I don't know, I think I saved like $300.
Yeah,
crazy.
It's such a big difference. Another thing too is, and this is just a sidebar, if you don't have a credit card, Turo allows you to rent a car with a debit card. You can do that every single place at the airport. They're not going to touch you with a debit card. You have to have a credit card. So that's just another little benefit.
Yes. And if you are traveling overseas, Daryl, that what you want to do is use a VPN to make sure that when you are renting that car, that you say, like, for example, if you're renting a car in the UK, that you say that you are in the UK. Or let them, the website, think that you are in the UK, because then you'll get a lower price then. And I saved a friend of mine like $600. We talked about that on a podcast, I think.
Yeah, they love to gouge us Americans.
It's like nutso. So where are you going this summer?
Where am I going this summer? Probably Indiana.
Nice.
And then I'm going to Universal Studios.
Fun.
A couple weeks. Those are my trips that are planned. But you're right about Google Flights. Last year was the first summer I had ever used it. I knew it was there, but I never did it. I saved $400 than going through, one of the big Priceline type websites.
It is.
Huge difference.